Good afternoon, dolls and gents. How are you all today? I hope everybody has had a pleasant day. Today is Thursday, the 29th, I believe. And I wanted to talk about divine connections tonight. That's what I want to talk about, divine connections. We got a little visitor. Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Okay. This is Dimitri. Yes.
Okay, divine connections. Thank you, sir. You can play with your train track. Hello, Mr. Richardson. How are you today? Hope all is well. Hope all is well on your end of the world. I want to talk about divine connections. Thank you very much. Thank you. In life, we meet people, and I feel like that never is a meeting on accident. I feel like that every person that we meet, there's either a lesson or there's something that we have to learn. Hey, PJ, how are you and the girls are absolutely having a lovely holiday. But there's something that we need to learn from the experience, or something we need to get from the experience, or there's something in meeting people and the people that we meet and God links us up with. One thing that I think is really interesting that he showed me before I left to go back to Florida, I took my nephew to daycare, and I don't have a key to get in the daycare, and the door has there's several doors you have to get into to get in the daycare. So I took him through the first door, and I said, let me take a picture. So we took a picture together. And then I said, let me take another picture. So we took another picture together. Now, as I was taking that picture, a lady was walking up. Now, I knew that was going to be the way I was going to get in that door. However, I said, let me take another picture. So I took another picture. And within that moment of taking another picture, I missed the opportunity to get in the door. Now, and it was just literally like just fingers just slipped right through the door, and she was already walking on her way, so she couldn't turn around and help me get in the door. So I had to stand there, and it was God. He just showed me an illustration of this, how we can miss our opportunities sometimes, doing extra stuff, being extra, doing things that don't have anything to do with what you got going on, spending too much time on something that's not important. But so I had to stand there at the door. And I did get another opportunity to get in that door, but I had to wait. I had to wait. And I had to wait. So about 5 minutes passed, and then someone else came, and they went through the door, and I was able to get through the door. Now, what I thought about as I took him into his classroom and I walked back through, had to get somebody to let me out of the door again. But as I was standing there, I thought about it, and I said, this is how life is. Like, we get opportunities to do great things, or the opportunity that we've been praying for, or the opportunity that we wanted. We get the opportunity to do it, but sometimes we just miss it. But God loves us so much that he'll allow that opportunity to come back around. May not be the same person, may not be the same place, but it'll come back around. And if we're ready for it, then we can get it. And if we're not ready, then we'll miss it. But what I thought about was, if I would have continued to miss that door at 6 p.m., now I wasn't going to stand there and do that. But this is just for the analogy. If I was to stand there until 6 p.m. and keep missing that door, the daycare center would have closed. And if the center was closed, then I would not have been able to get in there on that day. So I just wanted to talk about, do not waste your opportunities. Divine connections and divine opportunities will pass you by, and you do not want them to pass you by. Sometimes we allow them to pass us by because we're too afraid, or we're too shy. We're bold and everything else, and I'm very guilty of this. I'm bold for everybody in the whole world but myself. But I'm learning that I have to be bold for myself as well. So we have to remember that we have to get what's ours. If God gave it to us and it's ours, why are we afraid to go get it? No, go get what's yours. Do not allow the devil or nobody else to take what's yours and what belongs to you. We have to put our pride to the side sometimes. Our pride gets in the way, and we don't want to either have to start over to build, or we don't want to hear what other people have to say, or we're embarrassed about having to start from the bottom. Don't let your pride get in the way of what's yours. I am not worried about that. That is the least of my concerns. You definitely want to make sure that you get what is yours, and you don't allow your pride to be in the middle of what's yours and What's yours, you see it on the other side, and you're standing here in the middle. You better get to getting what's yours. You don't have to consider people's opinions. First of all, you don't have to consider anybody's opinion. But sometimes we consider people's opinions that we vented to. And we was having a bad day, and we was like, girl, honey, I'm not about to be able to do that. And they wore me out, and this, that, and the third, and la, da, da, da. All those things. And then God sends us right back to the very thing that we said we wasn't going to do. We get caught up in what is he going to think? What is she going to think? What are they going to say? You can't worry about that. If you feel like you want to give an explanation, knock yourself out. But really, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You really don't. If God said it's yours, you go get it. And that's what I'm about to do, y'all. I can't wait. I'm getting ready to come for everything that's mine. I'm not letting nobody have nothing that belongs to me or that's going to be conducive to my future. Within our divine connections and our divine gifts, what we don't realize is that our gifts are not for us. I touched on this a little bit yesterday, but our gifts are for the upbuilding of the kingdom. Our gifts are for other people. Our gifts are to support the kingdom and to help other people kind of find their way through there. That's a really important thing that we don't think about. You know, whenever I go to church and I get what I need, I may enjoy the choir. I love the choir. They do such an awesome job. But if the choir is not standing up there, then I don't get to hear the choir sing. So I'm relying on them to work in their gift, and they may be relying on me to work in my gift. Sometimes it's not even about anything that you do. Sometimes it's just about showing up and showing somebody that, hey, they're consistent. Consistency is very important. It is very important because we have to build a trust within one another. And when we do that, it's through consistency, continuing to be yourself every time, showing up when you're supposed to, good days, bad days, and anything in between. Being consistent is very important. It's a part of having a good work ethic. It's a part of having a good friendship and familyship. Like, it's a part of having a good relationship. You have to be consistent. You can't be up and down and all over the place. You can't let life rattle you every single time, because life happens. Every day somebody's going to wear your soul out. My soul was wore out for 10 minutes today, and then I had to get my life and say, you know what? Not today. And so you got to just have that mindset, and you have to know that things come up and people get upset with this life. They're going to live. All is well. All is well. Don't let it change the course of your day and what you have planned and what you have set. Don't let it change your attitude or affect the interactions that you have for the rest of the day. Don't have a nasty attitude when you get home because your boss had a nasty attitude. Your kids didn't do it. Your husband didn't do it. Your wife didn't do it. So we have to kind of put that in context and put it where it goes at. And when you go home, home is that's your sanctuary. Like, I do not allow disruptions in my home. I like a peaceful, quiet, flowing home. Come in with positive things, great things, lovely things, inspiring things. No negativity. I can't deal, not in my sanctuary. My home is my sanctuary. No, I can't take it. You have to be protective of who you let in your house, because that's your house. That's your private area. That's where you dwell. That's where your spirit is comfortable. So you have to be careful to not let uncomfortable spirits in your house, honey. I pray anybody, God, that is not for me, make them uncomfortable and do not allow them to walk over this threshold right here. I literally pray that, because it's real life. And it's so funny because I have seen it happen, and I promise I've seen it in real life. People be so uncomfortable and they won't even come in. It is real, y'all. It's really real. Prayer changes things. It really does work. It really does. Our lessons, the lessons in life that we teach, the lessons that you teach somebody that you find yourself saying over and over again, are lessons that we need. We are drawn to ourselves as a people. That's why people that are like you, they're drawn to you, because there's something in you that's similar to what they've got in them. And maybe you've mastered one part of the thing that's going on, and so they want to kind of sit under you and observe you and see how do you get past this part of life? How do you get past that part? I think that is really good, but we are working you have to work in your gift, and you have to flow You have to allow God to change you so that you can be effective, so that you can be there for someone. If someone was there for you, you know how that feels. If no one was there for you, you know how that feels. So either way, you have to try your best to stay positive, don't give up, keep focused on the prize and what's ahead of you. Don't spend too much time looking back over your shoulder. You can't do nothing about the past. That's done. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. There's nothing you can do about that. But you can do better going forward and living in the moment that you're in now. Let's see what else I have, darlings. I gotta really get a little more organized on my notes. We lose what we don't value. Very much so. We lose what we don't value. That is so true. And it's weird because to me, I've been working since I was 12 years old. I've made money since I was 12 years old. I don't value money. I don't care about it because I can make it real quick and I can spend it real quick. But I've had to learn that only worked for the first half of my life. Now that life is different for me, I have to be more responsible financially. I can't just spend all the coins. I can't pay the bills and then spend all the rest of the coins. That's not being financially responsible. We have to be physically responsible. We cannot, to be out of shape to the point where you can't move around and do what you need to do and get up and move around. And it's not about your size. It's about what you can do and what's healthy for you. But it is, that's something that we have to do. We have to be able to be physically fit for our size, our body, our age. And you do want to be able to move around when you get older. You want to be able to move around while you're young. It's a privilege. Whenever my back was out, and I couldn't walk, and I was paralyzed on my whole left side, and then I was paralyzed from the waist down, it was not fun. It was not fun. So every day that I can get up and make a shake, I'm going to get up and make a shake. Because there were days that I couldn't. We take for granted the small things. Little boy child, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Demetrius. Okay, put it down. Lord Jesus, help me. Lord God. This little boy child can't worry. His mama's going to come in here and get him. I ain't going to say nothing. Then he'll say his mama's being mean to him. Anyway, we have to be financially responsible. We have to be physically fit. We have to be nutritionally responsible, what we eat. We have to be mindful in what's going to, when you eat a big meal, steak, potatoes, and dinner rolls, all that, yes, it tastes good. But don't you feel like a whole big tarred ball of when you get done? Yes, you do. Because it's just too many carbs going wrong. 9 times out of 10, all the bread and the potatoes and the cheese and the butter, all that's good. And not saying that you can't have it. Let's just do moderation. Let's have maybe half of the potato and 1 dinner roll and some salad, and then half of your steak. Or I don't know. Everybody has to kind of do what's best for them. But just be mindful of what you eat and how it makes you feel. You don't want to feel sluggish. That's not a good feeling. It really isn't. Demetrius, stop. Now, let go, and play with your train.
It's not working.
I'm sorry, you got to figure it out, brother, but don't keep playing with that. You want to be able to do what you need to do. If a phone call comes in and you need to make a shake and you sitting there like, oh, I just can't move, girl. You don't want that. That's not a good feeling. Let's see, what else do we have that's so lovely for tonight's information? Y'all, my day has been a little bit long, but it's been productive. I had my kiddos had their cousins come over and visit, and it was really nice. I got to share some great information with the kids because I like to share. That's what I like to do. So we all sat down and had us a little powwow, and I was talking to them about peer pressure. And I was talking to them about, whenever I was in school and I was younger, that I didn't allow peer pressure to get me to do anything I didn't want to do. If they was smoking weed, having sex, staying out all night, whatever they was doing, I used to tell them, hey, that's more for you in real life. And they would laugh and life would go on. Not saying that I didn't hang out with people that did different things. I just didn't do it. And I didn't allow them to persuade me to do it. There was nothing that they could say that was going to get me to do it. And, it wasn't anything in particular. I just didn't choose that life for me. I knew where I wanted to go in life, and I knew that drugs, alcohol, and all the extra stuff that was not going to be conducive to where I wanted to be in life. We talked about having sex too early. Stop. We talked about having sex too early. You can't. It's not good. And the funny part is, it's not even the act of sex. It's what sex takes from you. It comes for your time, because when you start having sex too early, it kind of changes your mind state, and then you thinking about who you getting ready to go lay up with and what you getting ready to do when you have other things to be worried about. First of all, second of all, it sends you to the clinic, or you get a teen pregnancy going, and then you got your life is detoured. Not your life is over, but you've made your life harder. And then you get to, some people get into sex addiction, and then they're so busy always trying to find somebody to lay with. They can't lay in the bed by themselves at night. And so you end up in situations that you wouldn't have settled for. I'm talking, baby. You end up in situations that you would not have settled for had you not had this craving to lay next to someone, and you don't want to deal with your own things. Sex is a gift. It's a gift. You're supposed to save your virginity until you are married, and you're supposed to save that on your wedding night for your husband or for your wife. And even if you've already had sex, it's nothing that you can't repent, and you can't say, God, take this area of my life, and I want to save it, and I want to preserve it for my wedding night. That is the most awesome gift. Do you know you are a king? Do you know that you are a queen? If you are royalty and you are a king and you are a queen, why would you spread your seeds amongst the peasants? I'm confused. Nobody ain't getting these cookies till it's a ring on it. So you want to make sure that you know that. You have to know who you are and whose you are, and you won't settle for less. A late night fun party. Oh, we had a good time, girl. Yes, he did this, that, and the third. Yes. And then you get up the next morning and he can't even buy you a sandwich for lunch. He can't even, and even if he can, it's still not worth it. That gift is supposed to be sacred. And that is the most awesome gift that you can ever give to your spouse. That's the most awesome gift you can give to your spouse, to be able to save your wedding night for the first time that you all are intimate. I think that is beautiful, because if he is truly sent by God and she is truly sent by God, you ain't got to worry about that. That's going to line up. I'm more so worried about the other parts of life. Do you know how to be honest? Do you get up and go to work? How do you value family? How do you value friends? There are more. Do you love the Lord? How do you show that? All of those different things. You have to kind of figure out what's important to you. But if we take sex out of the equation, you can get to know people a little better. You'll get to know, and then you won't fall in love with the awesome things that he did in bed or awesome things that she did in bed. And then you're having to overlook that he can't cook. He don't have no job. He lives with his mama. He sleeps on the couch. He don't go to work when you go to work. You're overlooking all that because the sex is good. Who cares about a good night of sex? I'm not worried about that. Please know that is not as important as people are trying to make it, or not even as important as you think about it. If you really think about it. All of us single mothers, it wasn't that good that you want to raise a child by yourself for the rest of their life, and you want to argue with their daddy. I'm going to tell you that it's not. And I was actually with my children's father, and we got married, but we had sex before we got married, and it was the same thing. I was mesmerized. If I had not have been mesmerized, I would not have gotten married to that man, nor would I have went on to spend as many years as I did with him. Nor would I have spent so much of the extra time crying at night and all the shenanigans that goes along with it. So we have to be sexually responsible. That is very, very, very important. It is very important to share with our kids. Nobody talks about abstinence. Nobody does. Everybody's talking about, yes, I bought her this and I can do this and I'm going to do this or that. No, that's silly. That is foolish, and it's ignorant to let somebody buy you something or pay a bill and you give them some sex. I don't get it. It's not that serious. You're worth more than that. You are worth so much more than that. No, we have to do better, and we have to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. Take time and understand who you are. That is very important, because if we don't know who we are, then we let people tell us who we are. And when we let people tell us who we are, then that's when those kind of things come up. And you think, oh, that you running stuff because you good in bed and you got him to do this and that. No. It's just the opposite. And I'll speak for myself because I definitely was on that same track. I was on that very same track. I was a professional seducer. That's what I say. I was. I could seduce the best of them. But am I proud of that? No. I'm not proud of it. But it's a part of my past, and it's made me who I am today. It's made me value who I am today, and it's made me understand who I am today. So I know that that's no longer a part of my character. I hated that I had to kind of go through it, but I had to go through it so that I could tell my children that you don't have to go down that road. You don't have to try to find your worth in bed. You don't have to. Find your worth standing upright. That's when you really are worth more, because the horizontal laying down, that's for your wedding night, and it's for your husband, and that's for your wife. And I'm not judging anybody, and if you decide to keep moving on along, keep moving on along. Just wear protection, because it's just too many things going on. Inform your children. We have to be more honest about this subject with our kids. We have to be able to really talk about it, and we have to be ready to take what they're going to tell us, because these kids, there's some real life situations going on, y'all. Yeah, it really is. I didn't think half of the things that's going on at my age. When I was their age, oh yeah, half of that stuff wasn't going on. Or maybe it was. I just wasn't around that circle. I've always been kind of to myself. So I had a couple of friends, and that was good for me. I didn't need the whole school to like me. I didn't need to have the whole school's opinion. I had 2 or 3 friends, and that was plenty. That was more than what I needed. It was one more thing I wanted to touch on tonight. Dang, I can't remember where I wrote it down at. It was really a good one, little point that I wanted to share with y'all. He's gone, sweetheart. He's gone with his cousins. I can't remember it, so it must not be for tonight, and I can't find it in my notes that I wanted to share with you all tonight. But I think we've covered some good topics. Something to make you think. Like I said, not judging anybody, because I'm nowhere near perfect, but just something to put on your mind to think about. Just think about it a little bit. Take a little time and think about who you are, whose you are, and what you're worth, because I just want to tell you that you are worth more than gold. You are worth more. You're worth more than the stars in the sky. So we have to start treating ourselves that way, and making others treat us that way. We have to raise the standard for how others treat us. No, you can't call me and say all the ignorant things. That's not going to work out. No, you can't disrespect me. No, you can't mistreat me. No, if you keep missing this gift that's a blessing from God and somebody else wants to get it, then I just have to move right on along. You know, that's kind of how we have to that's how we have to live our lives. We can't put our lives on hold. When I tell y'all that I cannot get this video done because it is a child in here playing monkey bars on everything that is not nailed down. It's real life. So I guess that means that I have to get my video wrapped up, because he is on 10,000, and I don't want no accidents on my watch. I don't feel like going to Kozer Hospital. So I am Miss Dolled Up, and I will see you all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night and enjoy your family. Over and out.